Haunter story time, and buckle up because this is a story that I refused to tell for many years, but enough time has passed and the place is closed down now, so I don't fucking care anymore. I've been asked countless times over the years if I've ever worked at a haunt where someone has been seriously injured, and yes, I have, and this is that story. So this is when I worked at the hay rides, and we had noticed that a wagon had not come in a really long time. So me and the people at the scene were just like, wow, this is kind of odd. We haven't seen like a wagon in a really long time, but we kind of brushed it off as management giving us a break. But we did notice it was like abnormally long. The wagon finally comes through. We scare the people, and I do remember thinking, damn, those people on the wagon seemed off. I didn't know why until much later. But I remember haunting up into a certain point where I usually get off and then go back to my scene, but I overheard one of the narrators say, "Everyone stay seated, I don't know what's going on." No, that's another red flag of like, something may not be right, like what's going on? So me and one of my buddies, we went to go investigate a little bit, and we kind of noticed around the corner, because our scene was at the very end, so it's also towards the very beginning, that we saw lots of ambulances, like cop cars, there might have been a fire truck, things that were like, oh shit, how did we not see that? Also note, one of the people in that scene that I worked with that year was a firefighter, and he got a call and he booked it out of there. Normally he says something before he leaves, but he just straight booked it out of there, and we didn't know why. So one of my buddies calls the front and he asks one of our friends, like, what's going on? And he gets off the phone and he looks at me and he says, it's this person's name. I booked it down the trail to the front of the place because I'm like, I need to know what fucking is going on because this could be something extremely serious. So I get up to the front and someone said that the person was ran over by the wagon. If you saw my previous video about me sliding underneath the wagon, you can see how big it is, but we fit about 50 to 60 people on a wagon. So hearing that someone is ran over by a wagon is a really fucking scary thing to hear. I fucking lost my shit. I thought I had lost a friend because the way that people were wording it was that it was not looking good. But thankfully, he was still conscious. He was okay. What happened was that part of his costume got caught in the wheel of the wagon, and he got ran over by the wagon over his hips, and then he was dragged about 40 feet. He had about like 6 layers of clothing on him, and it tore through every single layer and several layers of his skin. I'm amazed to say that after all that, he's okay. He didn't even break any bones when it went over him. He just had like skin grafts and things like that, but he ended up being okay. But that was definitely a very, very scary and traumatizing experience because I constantly would have nightmares of being ran over by the wagon. And yeah, so that kind of also low-key traumatized me, which is why I never wanted to talk about it over all these years. But you know what? Here we are, like fucking full send. I don't know. But yeah, there's that story.